All right, our first notes, our first video notes of the year. Here we go. So, in math, it's really important that we realize that we can't just do adding and subtracting and multiplying and dividing in some random order, or like we read a book from left to right. It's not always going to be in that order. So there's a certain order that we do certain math operations depending on what they are. Okay, so this is called order of operations, focusing on the certain order that you do certain operations in. Okay, but before we get to the actual notes on how to do certain operations and when to do them, let's talk about two vocabulary words that you'll see often, just so you know what they are. Okay, so a numerical expression is really simple. Okay, it contains two things. It contains numbers and it contains operations. Okay, so a numerical expression does not contain an equal sign. That's called an equation. So a numerical expression is just numbers and operations. Well, what's an operation? It's what you do with the numbers. Okay, so we add, we subtract, multiply, and divide. Okay, those are the main four operations that we focus on. Okay, obviously, if you have exponents and parentheses, those are sort of some more in-depth, a little more complex concepts but still deal with these four main operations. So operations is what we do with those numbers in the numerical expression. Okay, so to figure out what order you do certain operations in, there's an acronym that's going to help you with this. It's called PEMDAS. You may have heard it like a sort of a silly little sentence. Some people say, "Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally," to help them remember the letters in PEMDAS. I just call it PEMDAS. I don't use the cute little acronym there. But the P stands for parentheses. Okay. Looks like sort of two curved lines there. There's going to be numbers and operations inside of it. All right. You're also going to see exponents. Whoops. So for example, 4 squared, these little numbers at the top of the big number, okay, this bottom number is called the base, this little number at the top is called the exponent. This is the same thing as 4 times 4, which is 16. Okay, so exponents have a tiny number at the top. Next, our M is multiply. Basic stuff here. 3 times 4 equals 12. Okay. You might see a multiply like a dot with an X multiplication sign. Or, let's say we're multiplying 3 times 4. You might see this, a parentheses. If you have parentheses right next to each other, that also means multiply. So in case you see that, you know what that means. D stands for divide. Okay, so 20 divided by 5 equals 4. Or you might see it, 20 divided by 5 like a fraction equals 4. Or 20 divided by 5 equals 4. Okay. As always, you can pause these videos whenever you like to make sure you're on track and caught up with me if I'm moving too fast. All right, final two things are A and S stand for add and subtract. Okay, 1 plus 1 equals 2. 5 minus 3 equals 2. Okay, so one quick note here with multiply and divide. Put a little or between the M and the D, and also an OR between the A and the S. Okay, so multiply and divide are sort of together here, and so is add and subtracting. Okay, and we'll explain why in just a minute. Okay, so let me erase some of this stuff off to the side so we can talk about a few things. All right, so we've got PEMDAS. So we read books left to right, and in a way, we use a similar concept with math as well. Okay, so we're following this order going down with our parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, adding, and subtracting. But at the same time, remember how we sort of grouped multiply and divide together and adding or subtracting together? At the same time, you're going to go left to right as well. We'll have a few examples later on that explains this pretty well. But if you have, a multiplication sign in the problem and a division sign in the problem, you may ask yourself, okay, which one of these do I do first? Okay, whichever one is farthest to the left is the one you do first between multiplication and division. And you're moving on down our PEMDAS, if there's an addition and a subtraction sign, you do the first one to the left. Okay, we'll do some examples here soon that show that with the numbers. All right, moving on. Okay, so let's just write our PEMDAS out here to the side to help keep us on track here with the correct order. All right, so 75 plus 12 times 2. So do we do 75 plus 12 first? The answer would be no, because we've got to start with our P. There's no parentheses, so move to the E. There's no exponents, so remember, look at this one here. Is there multiplication? Yes, there is. This little dot. All right, so that's what we do first. So 12 times 2 is 24. Ideally, you would rewrite these things below the problem, but there's not enough room, so I'll write it to the side here. So we end up with 75 plus 24, because we multiplied 12 times 2. There's no more multiplication or division. There is addition, okay? There's not any subtraction, so whatever our last sign is, we do that. So 75 plus 24 equals 99. And here's our answer, okay? Number 2, 100 minus 25 divided by 5, okay? Think about what we do first here. Do we do subtraction first? We do not, because subtraction comes after division, okay? Are there any parentheses and exponents to worry about? No, there are not. Is there any multiplication to the left? Nope. So our first one we do would be our division right here. Okay. So 25 divided by 5 gives us 5. So our new expression is 100 minus 5. Okay. If you wrote something like, if you did subtraction first, you would end up with something like 75 divided by 5, and this one are going to give you totally different answers. Okay, if you did subtraction first and end up with 75 divided by 5, your answer is going to be 15, which is not correct. Okay, so the correct answer, 100 minus 5, would actually be 95. All right, let me just work through the rest of these real quick, and then well, actually, yeah, that's fine. We'll talk through them, and then the bottom ones I'll work through quickly, okay? All right, so what goes first in number 3 here? We have a subtraction, a division, and an addition, okay? So we're going to go down our PEMDAS first. The first one we come to is the D, division. So we do 18 divided by 6 first, okay? That would give us 3. So we rewrite the problem, 50 minus 3 plus 2, because 18 divided by 6 gives us 3 right here, okay? So make sure you're rewriting each time you do an operation, make sure you rewrite the new numerical expression, okay? Okay, so do we do 50 minus 3 first or 3 plus 2 first? Well, we talked about earlier that if you have addition or subtraction, you go left to right. So we start on the left side, and you do 50 minus 3 right here, which gives us 47 plus our 2. 47 plus 2 gives us 49, okay? All right, number 4. Here we go, number 4. Oh, look, we have an exponent right here. So make sure you see that, and you keep following your PEMDAS order, okay? There's no parentheses, so you start with our e, our exponent. 4 squared is the same thing as 4 times 4, okay? Which is 16. So we would rewrite this 72 minus 16 times 2. Okay? To do subtraction or multiplication first. Well, let's keep following our order down here. After exponents come multiplication. There's no division to worry about, so we multiply 16 times 2, which gives us 32. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this thing. 72 minus 32, and that gives us 40. All right. Okay, let's get through these last 2 problems here. We're running short on time. All right, number 5, you notice there's parentheses. So we do whatever's inside the parentheses first. 8 plus 22 is inside the parentheses. That gives us 30. So we rewrite it, 30 divided by 5 plus 5, okay? Make sure you do division first because it comes before addition or subtraction, okay? 30 divided by 5 gives us 6. Bring down your plus 5. 6 plus 5 gives us 11. So make sure if you added up here, right here, if you added 5 together and you got 10 and you did 30 divided by 10, your answer would have been 3, but that is not correct. Okay, so make sure you do the correct order there. All right, last one here. So 3, got an exponent here. We can say that as 3 cubed or 3 raised to the 3rd power, and we also have parentheses. So some of you may freak out a little bit. That's okay. Just follow the order of PEMDAS. Okay. So P comes first, parentheses. So don't worry about the exponent until your parentheses is gone. So let's do whatever's in the parentheses first. Now here's a key thing here. What if there's multiple operations within the parentheses? Well, you just follow PEMDAS within the parentheses. So we've got a multiplication and we've got an addition. So what do we do first? Well, multiplication comes before addition. So we do multiplication first. So 9 times 2 gives us 18. Still got a plus 1, still have parentheses. We'll go ahead and finish this out. 18 plus 1 gives us 19. So to rewrite this would be 3 cubed minus 19. Okay, if you need to pause it and sort of make sure you understand how we get there, there we go. All right. Okay, so 3 cubed is the same thing as 3 times 3 times 3. The exponents tell you how many of the bases, the 3's you have. So 3 times 3 is 9, times our other 3 is 27. We still have a minus a 19. So here we go right here. 27 minus 19 gives us 8. All right. We are out of time. We will work on the rest of these problems in a different time. So this is order of operations. Remember, PEMDAS is really important to make sure you do the operations in the correct order.